Hey guys, so yesterday we talked about a personal narrative and what that exactly means. It's a story that happened in your real life. And I'm sorry my electricity keeps going off and on, that's why it's flashing. So we talked about how that's something that happens in your real life, and we talked also about the different steps for the writing process. Okay? How you have to plan or brainstorm first, which is the step we're on now, or we were on yesterday. Today, we are moving on to draft. Okay? So we're going to be drafting our story. I have a really big piece of paper here. This is going to be like my pretend journal. I want to do it on a big piece of paper so that you guys can see it better. And I know I'm really bummed that the lights keep going off and on. Hopefully they stay on. Or stay off, I don't know. But you'll want to use your map here as you plan to write your story into words. Okay, so yesterday when I planned, I only wrote like 1 or 2 words to help me remember what I wanted to put in my story. I'm going to show you how you take these ideas and put them into sentences. Okay, so whenever I am writing in my journal, remember, I'm always going to write the date first, okay? So it is September 24th, 2020. Okay, now to start my story. Okay, I'm going to think of a sentence that's really catchy that gets people's attention. Let me see. Let's see. I'm going to start by saying, I had the most amazing experience. I do not remember how to spell experience. Ooh. Experience. That may be one I have to go back and check later on. So remember, if you're writing and you come to a word that you're not sure about, you can just underline it, okay? And then you can check back later whenever we go like to revise and edit. We can check to see if that word's spelled correctly. So if you spell a word, you're not sure if it's spelled correctly, try your best, underline it, move on. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I got to feed real chipmunks. That's a digraph that we've talked about. C-H. Chipmunks. Okay, so, and when I'm writing, something that I do is go back and read what I have as I'm going to make sure that it's sounding okay. So I had the most amazing experience in Colorado on vacation. I got to feed real chipmunks. Okay, now I'm going to look at my planning page here, my web, and see what needs to come next. So I have introduced my topic. I've told that it's going to be about feeding the chipmunks. I did that by saying, I got to feed real chipmunks. Now, I'm going to tell about the different parts that go along with feeding the chipmunks. So I'm going to start by talking, because this is the first thing that happened. I'm going to write about the hike that we went on to get there. So we had to hike that doesn't look right, but I tried my best. I'm going to underline it and move on. We had to hike to the very top of a that looks weird too. I'm going to underline that one and check on it later. We had to hike to the very top of a mountain. Okay, so I told about the hike. Next, what's on my web here? Let me think about, and you're going to have to do this too when you make your web. Think about what would come next in your story. Would I need to talk about the food or how we had to sit still? I think that I'll tell about the food next, because that would make the most sense. Okay. We had to hike to the very top of the mountain. When we got to the top, there were little chipmunks running everywhere. Now, I know that this sentence was not something that was on my web, okay? But I wanted to add this in to make my story a little bit better and to make more sense. So it's okay if it's not something that's on your web. If you want to add it in to make it better, you can do that. But your web is meant to help keep you on track. So the next thing I'm going to write about is how we had brought food. We brought sunflower seeds to feed to the chipmunks. Okay, so far, got my web here, and this is helping me stay on track. I've talked about what the story would be about. I told them it was going to be about feeding the chipmunks. And I talked about how we had to go on a hike, and then how we brought food. The next thing I'm going to tell about is how I had to sit really still when I fed them, and then how much fun it was. Now, this is already kind of a long story, so I'm going to take a break for today and then come back tomorrow and finish my draft. So this is called a rough draft. It is where you are just getting your ideas down for the story. You're writing the story. You're doing your best you can. You're not worried about spelling at this point. You're not worried about anything else. You are just worried about getting the story on the paper. So that's what I have done so far. Now, when we do go to the next step of revise and edit, that's when we'll start going, okay, did I spell this correctly? Did I put capital letters? Did I put periods? We'll do all of that stuff then. But when you do your rough draft, you're not worried about anything except getting your story down on paper. So I'm going to take a break for today, and then tomorrow when we get back together again, I'm going to finish drafting my story. So today, I want you to take your brainstorming that you have done, your plan here, and start making it into your story now. Use this to help you make sure that you stay on track. Don't worry about spelling today. Just worry about getting your story into sentences. So remember, I'm not just going to write feeding the chipmunks, hike, food. I've got to make those into sentences. Okay? These are just ideas to help me stay on track. All right, after you have finished for today and you've worked on this for a little bit of time, I want you to take a picture or make a video showing me what you have worked on. Just like me, you don't have to finish your whole draft today. You can do part today and then part tomorrow, which is what I'm going to do. All right, have fun making your plans into an awesome story.